What's going on, guys? Fran here from FTC, and today we are checking out the Microsoft Xbox One Elite Controller. Now, a couple months ago, Microsoft was convinced people wanted to spend $150 on a controller. Well, maybe they weren't convinced everyone wanted to spend the amount of money, but they figured some people would. So what I decided to do was check one out and just to see if it's worth that $150 price tag that they advertised. So the Xbox One Elite Controller seemed to take a lot of notes from the more popular SCUF controllers. To the best of my knowledge, these controllers were made popular around the time Call of Duty got really competitive on game consoles. So at least what it seems like is Microsoft pretty much took that idea and took some really high quality materials, made them modular, and stuck them on the controller. From my first impressions, I think this controller is absolutely great. It's probably one of the best controllers I've ever held on to. On the back, you'll find some perforated materials that give it a nice grip in your hands, and for people who do have sweaty palms, this actually is going to work out really great because it'll still give you a lot of that grip and control. On the front of the controller, you'll notice the standard X, Y, A, and B buttons. Microsoft decided to make the analog sticks modular as well as a directional pad. The triggers and the bumper buttons actually also feel really great. In the firmware, they're actually adjustable. And that's one really cool thing to note with this entire controller. Pretty much everything is customizable. You can reverse the analog sticks. You can change sensitivity of some of the bumper and trigger buttons. You can even change the sensitivity of the rear bumper buttons, which I'll get to in a moment. And another really cool thing you'll find on the controller is a 1 and a 2 switch that actually allows you to switch between profiles. So say you have a roommate or a little brother or something like that, you can have a custom profile under one and then switch to the other on the fly. That way it gives you a lot more versatility. Of course, it's going to come with the newer interface, so you are going to have a 3.5mm headphone jack on the bottom, as well as a proprietary Microsoft interface port for connecting peripherals that they might make for the controllers. Now, if we go around the back, you actually are going to notice 4 module bumper buttons. Now they're modular, so if you don't like them, you can take them off. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the top 2, but I do like the bottom 2. So the way I actually configure it is just to have the 2 bottom ones on as the modular controls. So primarily I'm a PC gamer. If I'm going to play any games that don't work too well with a keyboard and mouse, such as fighting games or racing games, I will tend to reach for my Xbox 360 controller. So one of the reasons why I picked up the Xbox One controller is because it also is compatible with PC. I do have a Generation 1 or the regular Xbox One controller that comes with the game console. Recently, Microsoft released the USB wireless adapter that works with the Xbox One controller, so that paired up with the Xbox One Elite controller is one awesome experience. Another thing I use my Xbox One Elite controller for is actually for my PS4. So though I don't play too many console games, I do sometimes pick up a few, and I do not actually like the PS4 controller. So I did some research online and I found this really cool device that allows me to plug any one of my Xbox 360 or Xbox One controllers to the PS4 and actually gives me that exact same experience I normally would have with an Xbox One Elite controller. The only difference is I can't do it wireless as of right now, but hopefully they update some of that firmware where I can stick that Microsoft USB adapter in so I can use the Xbox One Elite controller wirelessly. So down to my conclusion, is it worth the $150? Well, I'll let you be the judge of that. If you ask me personally, I think probably a little bit cheaper, around maybe 75 bucks. 80 bucks would have been a better price point for this. 150 bucks is just a lot to try to justify purchasing a controller you really don't need. Does it actually give you any competitive advantage? I'd say yes, but once again, not enough to justify that price tag. So that's gonna wrap up this review of the Xbox One Elite controller by Microsoft. As always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Also, hit that like button if you want to see me do a review on that little device that allows you to use an Xbox controller on a PS4 or vice versa. And as always, hopefully I see you guys in my next video. This is Fran signing off.